Our next guest, who joins us weekly on Tuesdays, has the answer. Ladies and gentlemen, as I noted on Twitter, X the other day during the game, the man has the nickname as Glass Half Full. And it's Danny Kelly of The Ringer. You can follow him on X and Blue Sky at Danny B. Kelly, senior staff writer. God, it sounds so important. You say senior staff writer, just such a name and just a title at The Ringer, Ringer Fantasy Football Show, The Ringer NFL Draft Show. We talk NFL. Our coverage is brought to you by Georgetown Brewery, locally owned and operated by two diehard Huskies, Manny and Roger. They've been pouring the best local craft beer for the past 23 years. Makers of Manny's Pale Ale, Bodie Zaffa IPA, and a host of your other favorite beers. Tap room is open 7 days a week because you need to drink beer. 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Visit them at georgetownbeer.com. Hey, are those cool glasses, those blue light glasses?
They are.
Yeah, I got a pair of those. I'll put mine on too.
I need them, honestly. Like,
look at that.
Look at you.
A couple of dorks.
We might have the exact same pair here.
Yeah, Amazon.
Yep.
Yeah, of course.
I got to be honest. So I looked into it. There's some conflicting reports on whether the blue blockers actually work.
I don't think it works.
I think it works. I don't care if it's a placebo. I think it works. My eyes have felt better. I felt like I have like a 20-year-old eyes.
Okay.
And I've been staring at a computer screen like 10 hours a day for the last like 15 years.
Maybe I should really go all in on them then.
The reason I bought them is because I've been having like my eyelids have been tweaking out lately. Like, just
are they twitching
like crazy? I'm like, I need to figure out what's going on.
Okay.
Here. So, yeah.
Mine have been my left eyelid. I shit you not. We'll get to football in a second.
People care about this.
See a comment,
they care about us.
You know, God, I listen to 10 minutes of nothing and then finally to football. We'll get to it, okay? Just relax. My left eye has been twitching for like a month.
Yes.
Do you think it's because of the computers?
Yes. I think you should wear. So look, I'm not being paid for this. I should be probably.
But new sponsor.
Yeah, I'm starting to believe in these blue blockers things because yes, I had the same deal. My eyelids have been twitching for like seriously like a month, just like you. And I've been wearing them the last like 2 or 3 days. Fine. And I understand like there's a ton of glare. It's kind of annoying, but whatever. Yeah. But honestly, my eyes feel so much better. I don't care if it's a placebo. I think it's working. I'm fully on board.
This is this week's episode is the Blue Light Glasses Show with Danny Kelly. Hey, Blue Light Glasses. You want to be a sponsor? Hit us up. Puckett, Pucksports.com.
I'll be the spokesman for this.
Here's the deal. What I don't like about them. Glasses in general. I've never had to wear glasses. Thank God, I've had pretty decent eyesight. Mm-hmm. I don't like the way they feel. I don't like wearing them on my face.
I don't like how they get fogged up if you're like warm or whatever. I've been wearing glasses my whole life. I have contacts,
so you're used to it.
So I'm used to it. Yeah. But they definitely look kind of funky with the computer screen, just like right here, whatever.
But you do when you put them on, like, you know, and then you put them on, and I see it like, oh yeah, I see it.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I see that blue screen.
Should we start wearing sunglasses maybe?
You know, I thought about that because I got really blue eyes, and so it doesn't matter even when it's foggy outside or gray. The little bit of light, I'm like, it's too much. I gotta put sunglasses on, and I'll do it sometimes indoors.
I'll wear it
like,
fog.
Who are you? Like, what are you? Some big fucking deal? Yeah,
Johnny Cash over here.
Yeah, no, I got sensitive eyes.
Yeah,
I really do. I'm sensitive. All right. That was the drunkest Seahawks game I think I've ever watched, man. And we've watched a lot of drunk games.
I know. I feel like every week it's just like it gets a little bit more unhinged and hard to watch. This has happened multiple times this season now where I'm like third quarter, start of the fourth quarter, getting all these texts about how much all my friends hate the Seahawks, can't watch this team. This is like a disaster, blah, blah, blah. And then like 15, 20 minutes later, it's like, anyway, good win. Feel good about it. On to next week.
It's amazing how just a play here or there changes your entire outlook. It's like the Niners game. Remember when they didn't call the penalty that they should have?
Vaguely.
Yeah. You remember that? It was the timeout.
Right.
The whole timeout thing. Listen, San Francisco wins that game. Everything changes. You know, if Aaron Rodgers, who has made that pass to Garrett Wilson, he's made that pass in his sleep. Okay. I'm telling you, man.
Game swinging play right there. I think it would have been 28 to 7.
28 to 7, yeah.
Yeah. Man, but that's football for you, honestly. Like, I think it's something that you see every week. There are these like integral, crucial, pivotal plays where the whole narrative would have shifted if like one guy like would have got 1 foot in bounds, or if the ball hadn't bounced that way, or whatever it is, or the referees hadn't called the play initially dead and then they couldn't reverse it, or there's just a million different things that happen every Sunday. But I guess that's why we love this sport. It's because it's chaotic and pure. God, the Seahawks, when they had like 8 plays from the 1 yard line and then ended up on the 20, awesome. I wanted to throw my computer monitor out the window. I was like furious. I was incensed.
You know what was so awesome about that game too? And Citizen Salt checks in here. I wear blue light glasses every day. You damn right you do, Believer. Citizen Salt.
He knows what's up.
Hold on.
Put him on. Put him on.
You want me to put him on the whole show?
Yeah.
I'll put him on the whole segment. Solidarity. Look at the glare coming off these things.
We can't tell.
I can't tell where your eyes are at. I don't know. You don't know what I'm looking at. I'm looking at porn right now, and I'm not even paying attention to you.
Well, you got to be careful about that now.
You know what, though? Since I'm a solo like endeavor on my own, I don't. I can't get canceled. Who's going to cancel me? Myself? That's the best part. Honestly, about working on your own.
In this country, in this day and age, people probably appreciate it,
God damn,
might be better off.
We should just start sharing screen from more fans. But what the best part of that game was, is that they won. They're in first place, right? They're 7-5, all that. But yet you still have so much to bitch about afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
God, that's what I love about football and I love about sports is that even in a win, and talking about a winning team is fun, Danny, but also what's more fun is bitching about the things that you don't like.
Yeah. God, man, if they could only run a short yardage play to save their life, think about how good this team would be. I don't understand the short yardage thing. I feel like, so you were when you were introducing me, it's like maybe Danny has the answer. I don't have the answer. I think my first guess would be, maybe don't have one of 2 options on short yardage plays, which is one to run out of shotgun, or 2, everyone line up in the middle of the field in a big pile, and then hopefully we can get a yard. That's like the only. It feels like those are the only 2 options they have. They do like a halfback, fullback dive or whatever.
They love that play.
Or they run out of shotgun and it turns into a total.
At some point when they do the Charbonnet, who I believe is one of Grubb's kids that he doesn't want to talk about.
Right.
But like, and that's the last time I'll use the joke, I promise. It's like the 4th time I've used it. And you know what? I'm going to put it to bed.
Retiring
it's stupid. It's dumb. And it's over. Is at some point when they have Walker go in motion, don't they have to hand the ball off to him at some point?
You'd think. Yeah.
Because they never do. I don't believe they have. They always give it to Charbonnet up the middle.
Yeah. And it works how many? I don't know, 40% of the time, 30% of the time. Their short yardage
it worked in that game.
Success rate is pretty terrible. It did work on that touchdown play. Yeah. But it generally speaking, it's just so frustrating. The like when they get into 3rd and short, I'm like, oh God. Like when they got a penalty earlier in the game and they got backed up. I think it was 4th and 1 and they got backed up to 4th and 6. I was like, I actually feel better about this now. Like it gives them a little more space to operate. They got the first down on that play. I just get so nervous whenever they're in 3rd and 2 and 4th and 1 or whatever. I'm just like, there's no way they're getting this.
Well, you think is that a problem just for the Seahawks, or do you, when you watch other games around the league, is that a problem in the NFL?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. I wouldn't
awesome,
say so.
It's ours.
I think it is a uniquely Seahawks, not uniquely, but like the Seahawks are especially bad at it. I would say they apparently have no intention ever of running a quarterback sneak, which I don't know why. And obviously their offensive line has been a problem all year long, like one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. And so, that's obviously a big problem, but they also, I feel like, just don't have a ton of creativity. I don't like how they never seem to utilize space to run. You know what I mean? Like spread to run. They like to just condense everything into the middle of the field and like try and run power when they are almost always overmatched in the middle of the offensive line. So I don't know. I wish they would use space and motion a little bit more when they're trying to run short yardage.
Okay, so you mentioned that. You think this is a Grubb problem? Because, God, I mean, I don't know. Again, and I'm going to base this on Twitter, which is the worst thing in the world to do.
What could go wrong?
Because there's been two things in watching Twitter in the last few days. One for the Cougs, fire everybody, to get rid of Dickert's gone, everyone, get rid of the whole thing. And then the other thing, so that's my life on Saturday. And then my life on Sunday is, despite the win, fire Grubb and fire Jay Harbaugh.
Oh my God! Well, I'm not 100% against the second part.
The
of that.
Harbaugh, you want Harbaugh out?
No, I don't know, but that was like one of the worst special teams performances I've ever seen in my life.
I started laughing after the second one.
3 fumbled returns, a missed kick, and a kickoff return. And then their punter got hurt, which is not Harbaugh's fault, but it was just like...
Well, but I'm going to blame Harbaugh for Dixon getting hurt, because I think Harbaugh put him in some weird position where he got hurt.
Yeah.
So everyone wants those guys fired, right?
I'm not ready to give up on Grubb yet. I think I will say have not been super impressed with the short yardage, clearly, obviously. But there's a lot of things I do like about their offense. This is like me just fixating on one thing, and people that have listened to me for a long time know that I feel this way, but like the screen game works. It's like incredible. I'm very happy with like some aspects of this offense, like the middle screens, just erotic when they run those things right. Like JSN, like, like the way that they set it up, you can kind of see it coming. I think teams are kind of picking up on it a little bit, but
they kind of run it a lot though, don't they? Almost too much. The middle,
they like maybe need to back off of it a little bit, but those middle screens, man, those get me out of my seat. I'm super excited about those.
Oh, you and I are in line on this one. If I was a coordinator in the NFL, in any football, and I scripted the first 15 plays, God, I look like such an idiot with these glasses on. That the light
just
that
embrace
I have,
it. Just embrace it.
I look like Poindexter.
Put some like tape right in the middle there.
I am. Next week I'm going to put tape on there.
Somebody on one of our YouTube broadcasts or whatever said that I should get the rec specs, like the like Kurt Rambis, like the old school things with like the cord in the back or whatever to keep it on.
Can you get them with the blue light blocking ones?
I mean, somebody's got to be making those.
Hey, polite cat, you both need to sleep more. Hey, man.
That is fair.
God,
it's extremely fair.
I've tried everything.
Maybe don't like look at your blue light phone for an hour before you try and go to sleep too.
I love how they put the phone away for an hour before you go to bed. Who does that? Nobody does.
It's impossible.
No one puts the phone away.
I'm like
electronics an hour
right in my face.
Just like I'm like this. Okay, back to Grubb though for a second.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a Grubb play calling issue, especially when it comes to the running game? Because the passing game's good.
Yeah.
We would acknowledge, I think.
I think so. I mean, I think there's definitely a lot of positives about it. But
is it okay, so is it because they can't run because he's not calling effective running plays, or is it because they can't block?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think I looked at this the other day it was yesterday on PFF. Guess who the number 1 rated running back in the NFL according to PFF grade is right now? It's Kenneth Walker. And guess who has like the 29th ranked run game? It's the Seahawks.
This is why I don't get PFF. And I know I look at it too, like everybody else. And it's cool to sit there and say, and reference it all the time, and they're great. Yeah. But I don't understand it. I don't understand how they come to stuff.
I mean, it's a reference and it's a useful tool. I don't think you should base everything on it. I would agree, though, that Kenneth Walker is one of the best runners in the NFL. My point mainly is, I think it's a schematic issue. Okay. It's a combination of scheme and obviously execution. Like the Seahawks offensive line, no one thinks they're good. They're not a good offensive line. So I think, it's a combination of the two things. Are there ways that they could maybe improve the output of the run game? I think so, especially in short yardage. But I don't know if they're like installing new offense and new plays at this point in the season. I really don't know how that all works. I think at the end of the day, they need to get a little bit better blocking, and then maybe they get a little more creative and stop just crowding into the middle of the field and trying to run short yardage with all 11 guys, right packed into the middle of the field. Like that drives me insane. especially when you're not like a overpowering team like the Eagles, for instance, or the Lions. Like if you have like good offensive linemen that can blow guys back off the line of scrimmage, I understand that strategy. Yeah. I think they should use, and it's not like they're not doing this 100% of the time, but I think they should use spacing more to try and run the ball. Yeah, I don't know.
Spread them out and run from that.
Yeah, okay. More often at least. Yeah.
They seem to, and this could be someone who probably goes to PFF. You're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about here. But to me, as I sit and watch games, it feels like they run the ball more effectively, at least with Walker, when they're under center, opposed to out of the shotgun.
Yeah.
But again, I don't, that may not be the case. I may just be grasping at straws, but it feels like that way to me. I don't know if you sense that at all, or
that might be the case. I think the problem with that is, and it's all connected together. It's like the offensive line. I think Geno Smith probably prefers not to be turning his back to the line of scrimmage when they're running like bootlegs and things like that. Cause I think bootlegs could, like running play action could be more useful, and they don't run it at a super high rate. But when you have an offensive line that's failing their blocks, I think Geno's like, I don't want to turn my back to the defense and try and run around and trying to escape when, guys are missing their blocks within like half a second. So, I think there would be ways to run under center, utilize the play action off of that, kind of marry that together. But I think it's just like, there's little things that are just not quite working, not quite clicking for them in those areas. And I don't know what the answer is. I think if it was a simple answer, they'd figure it out. But right now they're like, just basically just getting beat too much.
Yeah. Well, they're much smarter than us for sure. There's no doubt about that. Well, I think there's probably some crazy stat out there will even tell you that, God, even if you don't run the ball, showing play action like causes the linebackers momentarily to pause, and then it's so effective, even if you're not actually running the football.
Right.
So I love play action, but
I love play action. I think teams are a little less concerned about the Seahawks running these days than they used to. I think in the Seahawks, like I find myself during games just being like, all right, let's just stop pretending. Let's quit this charade. We're not going to be able to run. Let's just throw 60 times in this game. We have a better chance of moving the football. So maybe that's a quitter's mentality on my part, but watching them try and run, it's just
not glass half full, Danny. Come on. I need glass half full Danny back. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's maddening when you look at them, right? I mean, they average, because offensively, they're right behind Kansas City. Scoring wise, I think they're 2 points less, but middle of the pack. Passing wise, I think they have the second most efficient passing game, or second most yards and passing in the NFL. But they're averaging 88 yards on the ground. Yeah. And this is the thing I think a lot of people had concerns about with Ryan Grubb. Was he going to come over from college? Because they were pass heavy at UW for sure. But there were times when was it Dylan Johnson, their running back, where they were running the ball effectively. And I always would remind people, there's kind of two different versions of Grubb. One, you've got to remember what he did at Washington. He had an elite quarterback with elite wideouts. Everyone was going to throw the ball. And the O-line. You're going to throw the ball all around the place. But when they were at Fresno, he and DeBoer, the offense looked a lot different. They ran the ball a lot. They had like 2 1,000-yard backs when he was there calling plays. So, I mean, I think it's in
his DNA still.
Yeah. Because he's an old line guy too. I think he gets it, but I also think they don't have quite the horses yet,
right,
up front to have a dominant running game.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'm looking at their early down run rate is 31st in the NFL, so they're throwing on first down a lot.
Yeah.
And they have a high pass rate, I think, just mainly because they're just like they're finding no success, running the ball.
Which I don't mind throwing the ball on first down. Mike Holmgren did it all the time.
I prefer it, honestly. It's tough when you get like a incompletion on first down and then try and run on second down. It's like it just feels like, and there is a reason. Look, I'm looking at the stat right now. Seahawks on third down, the distance to first down, so the third and whatever, is 8.4 yards on average. That's the worst in the NFL. So they're averaging on third downs, 3rd and 8. which is like it's a miracle their offense is so effective because Geno Smith has just been able to kind of like overcome that. But like their early down, success rate and getting into like manageable third downs. I know I hate that term, but like it is a thing. Like 3rd and 5 or less. Man, they're just not. They're doing it worse than the NFL.
Yeah, but then we get concerned when they get to 3rd and 3.
I know, and it's a conundrum. It's a catch-22 because then they can't run in short yardage.
Yeah,
maybe they're better off being 3rd and 8. Honestly,
well, it's like we talked earlier about our love for the screen game. If I was a coordinator, I don't think I finished at this point, but it was like the first 15 plays I would script would all be screens.
I love it.
That's all I would do.
Yeah,
so I would screen you to death.
Yeah.
God, I love a good screen pass.
My favorite screen is the fake to the left, fake to the right.
Love it. Middle.
I guess it's not really a screen, but that's like when the tight end running up the seam.
Yeah.
So fake the 2 screens, then throw the seam pass.
Who started that? Was that Kansas City?
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure it's been around for years, but yeah, Kansas City has been doing it like
you
most
throw
prominently.
Left. And then you spin back, you're going to throw right. The Cougs did that earlier this year against Boise State, and it went for a touchdown. I'm like,
just
God,
erotic. Just erotic.
Yeah, it causes you, I gave up smoking long time ago when I was 21. And if I see that, I'll be like, my hands go down my pants, and I
just have it.
And I go into the closet where I keep an old pack of cigarettes and grab one out.
Yeah. You don't have to light it. You just kind of like,
Oh, you got to light it. You gotta light it, but yeah, it's. I think if they can get that corrected, I guess the only maybe encouraging thing for the rest of the season is, as long as they stay healthy, this is their offensive line. Yeah, and maybe just working together,
get some reps.
Final 5 weeks of the regular season gets them working as one unit. I think Oluwatimi has looked good at times.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe I'd give up 1 or 2 plays last week. Laumea, I don't know. I mean, I don't sit there and watch offensive line play the entire time.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like he embarrassed himself. Back to PFF, they didn't love him.
Mm-hmm.
But, who knows? I don't know if he's the long-term answer. I think it's depressing in a way that he's beating out Christian Haynes.
I know. That's a bummer.
3rd round.
That's a bummer because I liked him too. I don't know what's going on there. It might be a personality situation where
it could be.
I don't know, but yeah, he. It would be lovely if they could just get some continuity, get like all 5 guys, playing for a few games here. I'd probably not the long-term answer at right guard there. Just they have a chance to like really load up this offseason potentially and invest in the offensive line. I would love if they did that.
Yeah. What Danny, think for a second. Okay, left tackle's fine. Although I think Cross has been a little shaky of late for some reason.
Yeah, I'm still very bullish on Cross.
Yeah.
I saw him miss a couple of blocks this last game. That was a bummer, but overall, still very, very happy with him.
Tomlinson's righted the ship. He's been okay. Oluwatimi, I think, has been fine. Cross. Again, cross your fingers there with Abe Lucas. I think I said cross, but with Abe Lucas, as long as he can stay healthy, if they can just go in the offseason and say, all right, we're going to go spend some money on an interior guard. Let's go find a guard, whoever that is. God, that'd be beautiful. Oh, Lord.
We've been asking for it for 14 years.
We've been asking it since Steve Hutchinson screwed us over and went to the Vikings. That's how long we've been asking for someone in the middle.
Yeah.
On that offensive line. So, but they've got a great 5-game set in front of them, man. I mean, at Arizona, and then I was saying before you came on, I can't wait to see what the next 2 home games look like. One, just because the quality of opponent that's coming in with both the Packers and the Vikings. It sucks the Packers have got like 3 extra days off to play them. Because they play on the Thursday before they play Seattle. But then also, which is the great debate, fans selling their tickets. Because those are 2 good fan bases that are going to be coming into Lumen. And people will be selling their tickets, especially the Packers. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what they do against these guys, man.
I mean, we're in first place.
It's unbelievable.
I think just going back and thinking of some of our conversations this season,
I wanted them to tank 3 weeks ago, Danny.
There was times when we were talking about like maybe Mike McDonald is not it. Like we're starting to miss Pete Carroll a little
John
bit.
Schneider on the hot seat.
Can we get Pete Carroll back? Is he teaching at USC yet? Like,
Yeah, I don't know what Pete's will do. Yeah, Pete's smacking his gun with that stupid gif on the sideline. Everyone was throwing, wanted to play every time the Seahawks struggled. Yeah, it's a hell of a turnaround.
But yeah, this is like, this is just the classic NFL season where there's, I think many little runs here and there where they lose some games and then they start getting hot. And their defense, I think, is like the most encouraging thing about this season, other than I think Gino's been pretty good, is the defense has been like night and day better the last 3 games. I think I saw actually they're in EPA per play allowed. I think they're number 1 in the NFL the last 3 weeks.
They've been playing great. What do you chalk it up to? You just chalk it up to, I mean, it kind of all started when they got Ernest Jones.
I know.
Is it all Ernest Jones?
Well, I don't think it's all Ernest Jones. Leonard Williams has been playing like Aaron Donald out there, so that helps. It's always a combination of things. I think cleaning up what's going on at the linebacker situation is massive for them, because that was like, a huge question all offseason coming into the year. There's these 2 new guys coming off injuries. I don't even know, they weren't like playing that much in the preseason. I think that all kind of like works together to kind of make it hard to install and everyone on the same page. But yeah, like getting Ernest Jones, I think Tyrese Knight has acquitted himself well. Like their pass rush is coming on, getting healthy in the pass rush. They're gonna, I think obviously Leonard Williams playing like he has is just opens things up for everyone else. Like it's a cascading effect for the whole defense. Their secondary is starting to play a lot better. It's starting to play like they can. And so, yeah, it's all exciting and good. And like, that pick 6, I think it's just such a good example of, I think, for people that aren't paying closely attention to the defense, like that's just like a good thing to point to, because he's dropping into coverage. Like, and that's the reason that Aaron Rodgers threw that Leonard Williams dropping into coverage. That's the reason Aaron Rodgers didn't see him, is because, the things are moving so fast. Sometimes you just don't see a defensive lineman, a 300-pound defensive lineman dropping into a zone.
No,
trying to cut off.
Stupid. When you think about it, you're like, that's dumb. Why would we do that?
Why are we asking this guy to do it? Is because you want to give the quarterback different looks and like basically trick him into not seeing this guy dropping into a little zone here. And obviously he jumped in front of the passing lane that Aaron Rodgers thought he had. And that's like, I think, just a good example of like why this defense works, and one aspect of why it works is, it's just you're giving the opposing quarterback, and this is a, what is that, 3-time MVP, like he's been around the block, like giving him looks that he's not expecting or whatever, and that's like how you produce turnovers. That's how you kind of keep them on their heels, and so I think that was just like a fun example of that.
Yeah, and this is the reason why they went out and got Mike McDonald.
Yeah,
was the mad scientist. Like, he's going to present things to offenses that hopefully they've never seen before,
right? And
disguise and trick them and show them a look. Right when the ball is snapped, they change the look, and maybe that was the thing here, Danny. That it's taken them a while to pick up on that. I would imagine that this is not just let's line up in 4-3 or let's line up in a cover 2, and because there was a simplicity to how Pete Carroll called his defense back in the day. Yeah. There just was. They talked about it. There wasn't great scheme to it.
I mean, all
they just had talented players.
Yeah, all the defensive backs. I was going back actually recently and looking at some of the quotes from that era, and I remember like, I think there was a Cam Chancellor quote where he's like, "Look, we're lining up and people know what we're doing. We're not doing a lot of funky stuff. We just play so disciplined. We're all connected." Playing on a string was like the expression they used to use. They're all connected on a string. They're running cover 3 stuff. There obviously is like intricacies within all their coverage schemes, whatever. But for the most part, they weren't disguising anything. They're coming out in 3 high or whatever, cover 3. And running that defense and just executing it better than the people across from it. Now it's like the polar opposite.
Hey Aaron, on the YouTube stream, nerds. Yeah. Look at us. It's the
4
nerds.
eyes.
Hey, I know if you kind of tilt down now you don't see the glare.
There we go.
Yeah, Aaron. It's the blue light glasses show of record. It's wonderful.
Hell yeah. Not ashamed of my
I'm
blue
not
light
ashamed. Not ashamed at all. Although I'm getting my ears and like the side of my face is getting tired with them on. But I'm doing it for you, Danny.
I appreciate that.
Solidarity
Appreciate that.
there for you. I distracted you with that. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I was basically just saying, like, now it's kind of, I think, hopefully the inverse. Obviously, the expression I think he uses is the illusion of complexity. I don't think, like, they're not blitzing a ton, so it's not like they're sending 5-6 guys and, like, being really risky and all that stuff. It's just literally bringing pressure from different four. Not really. The quarterback is having a hard time knowing exactly where the pressure is going to come from, which 4 guys are going to come, which guys are going to be dropping out. Just makes their life a little bit harder, setting protections, knowing where their hot route is, and things of that nature. I think it's just that's what makes it harder for the opposing offense and like really just the opposing quarterback to know what's going on.
Yeah, I read that stat where they were really one of the least teams that like to blitz, and I was like, really, God, my imagination
doesn't feel like it
feels like they're blitzing and sending guys all over the place, but in reality that's not the case. But in those two, two of the biggest plays in the game, certainly the one there with Leonard Williams, how they disguised it, but then the last play of the game there on 4th down, where I think Kobe Bryant had only blitzed, I don't know, it was like 2 or 3 times. Ever. And then when he got the call, he was like, really? You want me to blitz? But it worked.
Yeah.
They disguised it. They dropped, I think, Reed and somebody else back. Offensive line had no idea where it was coming from. And then here comes Kobe Bryant off the edge. And Rodgers has to basically almost, in essence, throw it away.
Yeah.
I never really made a play. So it's fun to watch. We've seen so much where the offensive guys have been the ones scheming. And making it hard for defenses. It's kind of fun to see it on the flip side, to see him making it a challenge on others.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the Seahawks have, we talk about why is it different now. I think it is a lot just they're getting used to it and starting to know the system and starting to like feel comfortable in it, playing fast instead of thinking. Yeah, all the cliches. But yeah, the Seahawks, I think, have the personnel to do this kind of stuff. Like they're, especially in the secondary, the guys they can blitz pretty much anyone. Witherspoon's awesome off the edge, So
he's so awesome. I just love watching him play.
Yeah, they got some guys that play with fire,
an attitude, and
ferocity, I should say.
Loves playing great. Job has been a find.
Yeah. Yeah.
The hell's that guy?
I don't know.
Just they plug him in and they're like, oh, he's good now. So it's been fun. Hey, before we get to your, it's a Tuesday, it's fantasy football waiver wire pickups. We're winding down the season. I know you'll appreciate this, and I appreciated it last night. The Jameis Winston experience is holy.
Yeah.
I mean, him after the post game saying he wants a prayer, the gods to take the pick sixes away. He's just. He is what I love about sports, because he's a good player, makes mistakes and all of that, but he's just fun.
Yeah.
God, he's entertaining.
Yeah. Did you see the thing? This was, I think it came out after the game sometime, like day or two after. There's a video of him trying to get the opponent to jump, and he's like doing a hard count, and he's like, he does a hard count. He kind of adjusts it. He like tells the guy to move, and then he's like, hot. And he's like, damn it. Will you guys jump already? Like, just yells at the other team.
Yeah, he is. He's at times, man. It is spectacular what he can do with the football in his hands, and then the picks. But
it is the Jameis Winston experience, because man, it's like you watch that, and from a fantasy point of view, because I'm fantasy brained, that's just like what I think about most of the time, and so it's like, man, he really just unlocks like 3 or 4 guys that you were not expecting to be like potential like literal league winning type of players, like Jerry Jeudy having like 40 something points in fantasy. Like I'd given up on Jerry Jeudy, but like Jameis Winston unlocks players. He's done that everywhere he's gone. I think if you look back in the history, like when he was with the Buccaneers, like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, both number 1 receivers in fantasy. So he is like we call it like a kingmaker type of quarterback. Yeah. But man, and I'm rooting for him, because I want fantasy production from wherever he is, but if he can't stop throwing pick sixes, he's like not going to be a starter for very long. It's just like it's that contradiction or whatever. It's like, he is so good, he just like pulls the trigger, he hits his back foot and pushes the ball down the field, and the offense for the Browns has been night and day. Much more explosive, whatever, much more dangerous, but also it's like, man, he just like, that's also the problem, he pulls the trigger when he shouldn't, and creates bad situations. So it's like, I don't think he doesn't probably have long as a starter. But man, it's fireworks when he is a starter.
Yeah,
so
he's just fun in the pregame and the postgame and all the kind of stuff that comes along with Jameis Winston. All right, it's Tuesday. Fantasy football waiver pickup. What do we got? Who's hot off the presses? Who do we?
I think the big one and the guy that you probably want to spend the vast majority, if not all, of your free agent auction budget on is Isaac Guerrero for the 49ers. Mm-hmm. Christian McCaffrey going down with a PCL injury, and then Jordan Mason on the same day going to the IR with a high ankle sprain. This is the 49ers backfield is now Isaac Guerrero's apparently. And so, obviously this is a good team, good offense, good offensive line. They're going to run the football. They're going to score points. You want a piece of that offense. So he's a guy that I would definitely go out and prioritize at the running back position. I think for receivers, what I was saying before, the Browns receivers, like if Elijah Moore is still out there, he's getting double-digit targets when Jameis Winston's out there dealing. Cedric Tillman coming off a concussion. I think those are the two priority receivers for me this week. Even though I think they have a tough matchup with the Steelers this coming week, I still just like Jameis's. He has the memory of a goldfish. He's just going to go out there and keep throwing. And so those are two guys I would be looking at. Keon Coleman for the Bills should be coming back from injury soon here. He was looking like he was picking it up before he got hurt. And then at tight end, Juwan Johnson is an interesting one for the Saints. Taysom Hill is out for the rest of the year with an ACL injury. I don't know. The Saints are running out of guys they can throw the football to. And I think Juwan Johnson's kind of been the steady guy they have. He's probably going to get more snaps, probably going to get more looks in this offense. And then if Dallas Goedert misses time with his knee injury that he suffered this last week, Grant Calcaterra for the Eagles is another guy that you can stream. He's been sort of like the pass catching guy for them. Devontae Smith is still banged up, so if he misses time, that's especially good for Calcaterra. There's some options to stream this week, even though there's a bunch of buys. So you might be looking to you might have some ugly lineups this week.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure when it's been a couple of weeks since we've done a show, so I'm not sure who we put out on the barge before Thanksgiving, but sorry, I guess they're not going to come back because
Shanahan, was it Shanny? Was it Shanahan? I can't remember.
Did we put Shanahan on the barge?
I'm trying to remember.
And now I forgot to put the barge sound effect in here. God darn it.
Well, we put Connor Williams on the barge and then he retired. So you have a lot of power, apparently.
That's right. That's
this
stupid
Barge situation.
Have we heard anything about that? Nothing has come out from that.
No, I think it was something in his personal life is what was like the company line.
If that's the case, I don't know. Hold on, Danny. There it is. And I know as somebody in that's not a barge, man. That's a shipping container.
It is a ship, yeah.
Okay, it's the barge sound, my friend, who was like, that's not a barge, it's a shipping container. Whatever.
Too literal. You don't need to be so literal.
I'm Azir Shahir. Yeah, he's on the barge.
I think the Texans organization is like,
what are we doing? Why are we defending his behavior? Because I didn't even realize this, and I was reading when he came down with the 3-game suspension here on Tuesday, was all the past aggressions this season.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't his. I heard this.
He was on the NFL's radar for the last couple months. He's just one more screw up, dude. Come on, you're gonna have a suspension coming, and this one was obviously egregious.
Were like, oh, this isn't him, and I'm like, okay, I didn't really know much about him at all. And then I'm reading the suspension today. He's getting into a fight in the Bears game because he knocked Caleb Williams out.
He punched Roschon Johnson on the sideline.
There was 2 more incidents, and I'm like, clearly this is who he is.
Yeah.
This is clearly who he is.
It's not Vontaze perfect level stuff, but he's on their radar already. And then this is obviously a really egregious, hit on a quarterback who's clearly sliding. It wasn't close.
That was old school, man. That was out of the 70s.
Yeah. And so, and I don't know. I found it I understand. I understand how a coach and GM would want to defend their guy, but the level at which they're saying this is stupid, with Nick Caserio and D'Amico Ryans coming out in the press the last day, and basically saying it's ridiculous and stupid and it's the Jaguars' fault and blah blah blah. I'm like, okay,
yeah, it's
time to chill out.
Yeah.
This is clearly an obvious suspension situation.
And that was a brawl, man. That was good for the Jags, man. They were just ready to just unload.
I know everyone was like Evan Ingram respect. Like the
Yeah,
way
yeah.
he like came over and like shoved his face in the dirt. That was kind of.
Hey, one last thing. You know what I want to see, since we saw it all last week in college football, in the next like game, like whatever quote rivalry game it
Right.
is, I want someone to take a flag and plant it at the 50 just
Yeah.
to see what happens.
Well, what's the funniest one that could happen this week? I think. Let's see.
Let's
here.
see. Well, give me a schedule. What do
So we
we got this week?
There's like not a lot of good games this week. I don't think.
Yeah.
Packers Lions is a good
Oh,
one.
that's
Thursday Night
perfect.
Football.
That's perfect. This week, where is that game at?
It's in Detroit.
Yeah.
So
Packers win.
yeah,
And they take a Lions flag and go try to plant it at the 50 and see what
that.
Watch Dan
That is-
Campbell.
You're gonna have people coming out of the crowd on that one.
I know that would be awesome. What about the Seahawks do it down in Arizona?
People are gonna be like, "Cool, man. I'm gonna go to Scottsdale, go golfing."
Yeah, see you, bro. Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, Danny. Great visit with you as always, Danny B. Kelly. Follow him on Twitter and Blue Sky. Danny Kelly every single week. Senior staff writer at the Ringer, Ringer Fantasy Football Show, Ringer NFL Draft Show. And again, our conversation every single week is brought to you by Georgetown Brewery. Visit them at georgetownbeer.com. Danny, until next week, we'll talk to you then. Thank you.
All right. Sounds good, man.
Danny Kelly, again, in case you missed it, the episode, appearance with Danny Kelly will be available up on YouTube. When you go to YouTube, as always, please subscribe there. You could leave comments. Also up on Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your podcasts. And, of course, always up at pucksports.com.